and welcome back to my vlog channel. So this vlog is actually a little bit different from the other vlogs that I have posted on here already. This is going to be more of a travel vlog because last week Joe and I went to the States. So I actually did film an intro to this before I left, but I somehow have lost that, so I'm going to be doing it again to introduce this before we get into the rest of the vlog section. But last week we went to Kentucky in the US to visit with some family. So my parents came out to Kentucky as well from California, and we all stayed at my uncle's farm in Kentucky, which is like over 100 acres of land just in Kentucky, which is super cool. So it was really nice to go and visit them. And the main reason we went on this trip was because there was a total solar eclipse that passed through the US, including an area near enough to Kentucky that we could drive to it. So Joe and I made the trip out to the States to hopefully catch that, but also catch up with family along the way. So without further ado, let's go back a week and we can go on this holiday together. Goodbye, baby girl. Goodbye. Say bio. Oh, goodbye. Made it to Paddington to get on the Heathrow Express. We've got far too much luggage, but it's because I'm actually trying to bring something back home from my uncle's that's a little bit bigger, and I think this suitcase might be the only one that fits in. Hopefully. My giant bag. I swear it's only half full though. And it's got a little duffel there too. So we are in Kentucky now. I'm actually just sitting outside on the deck of my uncle's place. Sorry, it's a bit sunny, sun's in my eyes, but we made it. We got in quite late last night and pretty much had some food and went straight to sleep because we were exhausted from such a long flight. Joe and I, we didn't really sleep on the plane, which was fine, but we were ready for bed. And we have a bit of jet lag, but again, that's fairly normal. It's a 5-hour difference to Kentucky from the UK at the minute, so there's going to be a little bit of jet lag, but it's okay. Otherwise, we are just hanging out today, having like a very, very, very relaxing one. We got some groceries in, so we got some food that we wanted to eat. I got like my oat milk for tea and stuff like that. Just things that are easy and that we want to have just around the house. And the weather's actually, it's brightening up a little bit now, but it's been very cloudy and a bit rainy actually. Not hot, not cold, just fine. So we kind of packed for that weather. And so now it's a bit colder. I mean, I'm sitting outside right now and it's not terrible because I'm in the sun, but it's cold. I'm not gonna just sit out here longer than I have to film this a little bit. But honestly, today is just settling in, chilling out. I can give you a little tour of my uncle's house and the barn and show what our sort of living situation is like for the week while we're here. And actually my uncle has some houseplants as well, which, I mean, I know this isn't my houseplant channel, but I'm going to show you them because I'm pretty sure most of you probably like houseplants as well. So I'm going to show you what he's got. So he's got some really beautiful ones. So let's go inside and do that. And other than that, like I said, we're just chilling today, having a bit of a reading, relaxing, catching up with my family sort of day. So this is the deck outside, and if you go down the steps, you get to the first pond, and so we can actually fish from out there, which will be very, very fun. And over there is a small above ground swimming pool, but it's far too cold for that at the minute. But you can see the weather's not particularly anything at the moment, unfortunately. But then we can come inside here. Got wet room and all the stuff that you need to go outside, and beautiful kitchen with loads of stuff. My aunt's made a cake, and we've got some ribs in there for dinner coming ready. And these here are some of my uncle's houseplants. Got a gorgeous begonia, huge begonia. This philodendron Brazil, which my uncle's got climbing up these beautiful antique, maybe like Chinese, Japanese, Asian, basically, Asian screen divider things. And they're just clinging on. Like the aerial roots are sticking into, you can see them sticking into this wood, and they're climbing up in different directions. And you can actually see the increase in leaf size from where they're sticking down into the shades. But I've got this gorgeous marble queen, which is pretty much snow queen level pothos. And he has them mostly in like multiple pots, where he's got sansevierias and pothos and other things just all in the same pot. Same with this one. It's got Syndapsis and Sansevieria in the same pot. And it's just working really well. This one even, it's got Aglaonema, a succulent. This looks like an anthurium and an umbrella tree all in one pot mixed together, and they're doing really, really, really well. Gorgeous plants. And then we've got the dining room, beautiful like wooden table set for dinner at the minute. And the living room, this is basically where we've been hanging out, and I've just been sitting there reading for quite a long time now, and I'm almost done with Six of Crows. So this is the barn where we are staying, because the house isn't quite big enough for all of us. But they've basically built out this like small little residence within it, with like a fridge, toaster oven, microwave, hot plate, sink, like all the normal things you'd have in a kitchen, wine glasses, and bookshelf. Those are my uncle's grow shelves. He's growing, oh, I'm not sure what these are. Are they tomatoes? Do you recognize these as tomatoes? I think they're probably tomatoes. So this is the room that Joe and I are in. It's actually a like bunk double bed, but we're both just sleeping at the bottom. And it's a cute little barn room, and my parents are staying in that room with a king bed. But I mean, I'm not gonna show you into their room. This is our view from outside the window. You see my uncle has some beekeeping boxes. They have their own bees here, which is awesome. It's just gorgeous outside. Let me put my shoes on and I can show you the way to the main house. Also, I'm very obviously not appropriately dressed for this weather. I wasn't expecting it to be quite this cold, but they have a fire on in the main house, and so it's fine, it doesn't really matter. But I'm bringing my book with me because that's just what I want to do. Actually, Joe and my parents are out at pickleball at the minute. They love pickleball. Obsessed, some might say. I'm not as obsessed. I'll play with them, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way, if that makes sense. So they're off doing that today, while I just get to enjoy a morning of relaxation, which I'm really looking forward to. So this is the barn from the outside, and you can see that window is where that living room is. And there's actually a hole inside of the barn that this kind of home bit is carved out of, which is, it's really cool. I really like how they've done it. And then that is their house just over there. See more of the barn. It's like really long, this barn. And it's where they keep their ATVs and stuff. I'm gonna be cheeky and walk through this. Ooh, it's gushy. Very gushy. But it's a beautiful house with a beautiful tree there. Even without leaves on it, it's really nice. So how was your first ride around the property?
Yeah, it's fun, but my driver was a bit gnarly.
I just like to razz it a bit. Like, if I'm going over something weird, just go faster and you're less likely to hit something weird. I don't know. That's my point of view. We were never unsafe. We were wearing seatbelts. We were never unsafe at all.
She's got need for speed.
It's just more fun. Well, I'll let Joe drive tomorrow and we'll see how he has. So this morning my dad and I are going to go fishing. Oh, I'm just in the barn garage at the minute. My dad's getting some bait out. Looking for some bait, Daddy?
Yes, I'm looking for some hooks. A little crawdad or something.
A little wiggly, shiny one.
Drag it through the water and it
Wiggles along.
kind of swims. Well, you can use a frog, but this is a bit big for the kind of
for
fish.
The little fish,
the
yeah.
fish we're probably going to catch in that pond.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've never caught anything off a frog.
Caught a fish. So good. It's a little one, a little ditty boy. Ooh, hello. Also, I do want to say we're catching and releasing because, I mean, we're not looking to cook any of these fish. But apparently there's a bass in this little pond here. And we might find it, we might not. We'll see. We can only try. My second catch of the day. Looks like a pretty similar fish, but it's gonna go back in the pond. Joe on the line now. So my parents have been watching this like metal detector show where I think mostly people in the UK go around to like old like places where people have had homes previously and like metal detect around and they find stuff. And actually on my uncle's land there's a bit of it that's like where the old homestead was, and so we're actually gonna go metal detect around there and see if we can find any treasure. But we've just packed up the Polarises, the four-wheeler things, to get going out there. I'm wearing my high vis because why not? Will he make it? Will we make it? Oh, easy.
She's a country girl.
It's an old well down here. Crazy. Hey, wait. I think it's in. That's not an acorn cap. That's a worm.
That's a worm, yeah.
Found some sort of nail. No, that's something. That's a metal.
That's metal, yeah.
There we go.
That's an axe head.
Oh wow, look at an axe head.
Oh, nice. Oh, there's a... What a find.
Yeah, look at that. Clear it off.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Is it?
Oh, that's cool.
That's made it all worth it, that.
Yeah.
You mean the nails didn't count?
Yay!
Hold on your pies, Joe. Yeah! Here's some nails. Tin can. Yeah, I'll put it down there. That's how much. This. Cool. And then a couple of these. Sort of long post things. I'm not really sure what those are. But that's probably a favorite.
Speaking on mine, Beacon.
I'll be.
No, yours is speaking.
Oh, there you go.
That's the thing.
That's the what?
Yeah, all that for 2 lousy nails, babe. Sorry.
That's the finest hole I ever done, dog.
Here, come on, this is for.
Check your juices, mate. Got the leaves on top, so let's put those at last.
I'm just about to hop on to my Patreon live chat. I know I probably shouldn't be working while I'm on vacation, but I give my parents some options, and this was the best time for as many of them as possible, and this is the time I'm normally supposed to be doing my live chat, so I'm gonna do it. I don't mind. Otherwise we're just chilling this afternoon, so it's not like I'm like missing out on anything. So about to hop on now, and yeah, it should be fun. I always love doing these. It makes me like, it's just a fun way to connect with my patrons, so that's there as well. It exists. But yeah, just logging in right now. Hello, how are you doing? Good, welcome, welcome. I'm currently 73% done with Six of Crows, and I've really been enjoying it. It's kind of like a heist film. Well, obviously it's a book, but like it kind of reminds me of the Ocean's 11 franchise, which, I mean, I do enjoy those films. I do love a good heist. And this is kind of like that, but in a sort of fantasy world, which kind of brings two of things that I like together, which I am very much enjoying. And I'm very nearly finished. It feels like things are wrapping up at this point, and I am really liking it. I'll definitely come on here when I do finish and let you know my like final rating of it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, today's just been such a fun, chill day, and now that it's sunny out, it makes the biggest difference. I feel wonderful. This is what I'm here for. I love the sunshine, and it's still a little bit cold on the colder side, but I can handle that. I can deal with that. As long as it's sunny, I feel like that's where my ideal lies. I'm sure some of y'all can relate if you've got any like sort of seasonal depression or SAD or whatever it's called, seasonal affective disorder. You'll understand that when the sun is out, it just feels so much nicer. But yeah, that's kind of it for today. I think we're probably just gonna have dinner this evening and then go to bed. That's basically what we've been doing most evenings. My uncle is a phenomenal cook, and so we've been having lots of really good food. I think we had a roast last night, and we're actually gonna have a roast again tonight because roasts are delicious, and he cooks a mean roast, so why not? So I think we're having roast pork belly this evening, and we had roast venison last night. All like proper stuff. So it's really good I eat meat again, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to enjoy the fruits of his labor. So yeah, it's been an absolutely fabulous day, and I will see you tomorrow. most of the way through the eclipse at this point. We've got, what is it, about 70-80% right now? And it's like kind of this weird twilight around. I don't know if the camera's picking up on it well, because like obviously the sun's still above us, but the contrast is just like a whole lot lower at the minute, and it's really, really cool. It's probably like, it's part of the experience of it all. I love this so much. Daddy, do you want to tell us a little bit about the eclipse? As our resident expert, why do you like going to see eclipses?
It's a fairly rare event when the moon goes across the sun and blocks it out completely. And when the moon does actually block the sun out completely, it's the only time you can actually see the sun's corona, which is the outer atmosphere of the sun, with the naked eye. And you can see the way the magnetic field affects the particles coming off of the sun.
You can tell he's a scientist, can't you?
It's a really cool event. But I also like it because it's a shared experience with a whole bunch of people sitting in a field looking at the sun through strange glasses and looking quite odd actually, and having a really good time. So it's a very nice shared experience with our fellow human beings.
Yeah, and you have you're working on a spacecraft that is monitoring the sun's corona, right?
That's right. I mean, one of the mysteries is why the sun's corona is much hotter than the rest of the sun itself. There's obviously processes which accelerate particles and make them much hotter than they are on the surface of the sun. And the Parker Solar Probe spacecraft is actually flying through the corona of the sun, going much closer than any other spacecraft has ever done before. So that's a very cool thing. So it kind of connects me to this kind of eclipse experience.
It's kind of chilly.
It's amazing just how little there is and how
bright it still is, even though it's just a sliver.
And yet you can't actually tell. You can't look at the sun still because it's too bright.
Got 5 minutes left. It's so close. It looks like it could be any second, but we've got 5 minutes. It's like it's sunset, but like full day sunset. How cool is that? 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, woo! Look at that, look at that!
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Is that Saturn up there? It kind of gets a little bit messed up because there's the high clouds there, so you can't really see it as clear as you could do. But you can certainly see the pointing. Another planet. The accent. Everybody. When you look through here, you can't see a damn thing.
But look, it's sunset 360. Good morning, friends. Sorry, I look a little bit rough at the minute. I don't know why. But it is the day after the eclipse now, and I think we got beyond lucky that the weather was so good. There were a few like very high thin clouds in the sky, but those kind of didn't really affect the viewing of the actual eclipse. For the most part, it was really nice and sunny, and so like I'm just excited for Joe mostly because I've seen the eclipse before. I mean, I still think it's really cool and I'm really excited for myself, but the fact that Joe hadn't seen one previously, I was just really glad that like we didn't just fly out here for nothing. I mean, it wouldn't have been nothing. We would have had a fun holiday with my parents and my uncle and aunt and hung out on the farm, but like in general, like I'm just glad that he got to see it. So yeah, it was really good. Franklin, Indiana freaking rocked the socks off of the eclipse. They had like so much infrastructure there for it. This sounds like an ad for Franklin. It's not. I just think they did a really good job. They had like porta potties everywhere, food trucks, like everything you could possibly think of. They had thought of it and like put it in place. So it was really, really awesome. Also, my dad, who loves this sort of eclipse events things, I mean, you heard him talk about it. He loves to just like go around and speak to people and like see people who are taking pictures or who have telescopes and stuff. He loves talking to people about this kind of stuff. And he met a young couple who had a telescope with like a camera attached to it or something, and it was tracking the sun and the eclipse. And he spoke to them before the eclipse, and then afterwards he spoke to them again and asked if they got anything good shot wise, like picture wise, of the eclipse. And they were able to get some amazing images. So the guy's name was Brad. He was the one who took the like majority of the telescope photos, and I'm gonna put them here. I will also link his Instagram down below, because honestly these are such cool photos. I think he deserves so much recognition, but like these photos were amazing and like really captured what you can't kind of see this with the naked eye, except for this one here. You see that pink bit on the bottom? That you could see with your naked eye, but it was like, it looked like a pinprick in the side of the, or like in the bottom, I guess, of the eclipse. It looked like a reddish pinkish pinprick that I hadn't seen before. I wasn't expecting to see anything like that, but we were able to see it with our naked eye, which is very, very uncommon. Like, I spoke to my dad later. I'll write the name of what it's called when this happens on the screen. My dad's the scientist, not I. But Brad was able to capture that like pink red thing at the bottom in some of his photos, which was, I just think it's phenomenal. I think it's so, so cool that things like that could be captured. And I mean, I suppose I could go out and try to do something like that, but like part of me just wants to enjoy the like joy of the eclipse. It was like just over 4 minutes in length, the like totality section, and that isn't very long. Like, it just kind of flies by, and like I really was like trying to enjoy it with Joe, taking like a little bit of footage because I wanted to like be in the moment with it. But I feel like we were so lucky that we were able to get such great weather. It turns out that like Indiana had some of the best weather in all of the country for this eclipse. Like, people who were down in Texas, I mean, I'm sure some people saw it down in Texas, but some people, like clouds were going in and out over the actual eclipse, which would have been a little bit disappointing had we been in Texas. But we were here instead, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, it was really, really good. But this morning, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and do some more metal detecting, because I think it's the last day we can probably do it, because it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. And if it's raining tomorrow, we don't really want to go out and dig around in the mud. I mean, we'll dig around in the mud today, but it'll be slightly drier mud than if it were raining. So that is what we're going to go do now. There it is. Found another axe head. This is our third, but I did this one all by myself today. So we found in total four axe heads up on this homestead, some of which you can tell have like a chip in them, like this one, and some of them are a bit more total. But we found 4 of them. I actually found 2 of them today. And what else? So we found, obviously because this is like rural Kentucky, found a bullet as well as some casings. I mean, guns aren't my thing, but it's fine. Like loads and loads of nails and stuff. I'm not gonna pick those up, but like some things we found were these like gigantic pieces of we think it's cast iron. It's kind of hard to see. We've tried to get as much of the rust off as possible, but if you take too much off, I feel like it's just gonna disintegrate. But some pieces of what we think might be a stove, or something. Like this might be the mouth of the stove and this is the top. Maybe. But part of why we think that is because we found these two things, which we think are feet for the stove. 2 of the 4 feet for the stove in there. But like it looks like it just connects like that and they're just stove feet. But we aren't sure if that is the case or not. We couldn't find online any like stove feet, like cast iron stove feet that had holes in them, like decorative holes. We don't know if it was just like where the metal's finished or like rusted through or something or not, but we think that they're stove feet, which is fun. And then this is probably the last thing I'll show y'all, but we found, this is actually the first thing we found ever metal detecting. We found this tin lid, which we think is an Anheuser-Busch, because you can kind of see it in there. It's backwards because that's the inside of it. The outside of it, you really can't see at all. But we found this tin lid, which is cool. It's just so unlikely. But yeah, those are my favorite finds from what we found. But like we've got an entire full table of stuff, which is really, really cool. And it was such a blast doing it. I don't think any of us actually expected to find much at all. Like, I mean, it's something, but not 4 axe heads and like potentially a whole cast iron stove. Like it just seemed really, really unlikely, but alas, we might have. So yeah, it was really, really good fun and very unexpected, but very, very enjoyable. So maybe in the future when we come back here, we can do some more metal detecting. Maybe they'll find the other 2 feet for the stove. Maybe we could reconstruct it. I mean, I think all the rest just kind of made it unreconstructible, but anyways. So yeah, that is today. I think for the rest of the day, the weather is looking grim. It is raining now, and so I think we're just going to spend the rest of the day indoors, reading, chilling out, that kind of stuff, sitting by a fire, you know, just normal farm things. Today is our last day at the farm. Oh, like part of me's kind of sad because I have to like go back to real life, but I feel like I'm ready to go home at the same time. Like I had a good time and I had lots of rest, which was so much needed. So I'm really glad that we were able to rest and relax during this time. But it is again raining today. Also, sorry, I'm wearing the exact same thing because I only brought 1 jumper and this is it. So I've just been wearing it constantly. But yeah, it's the last day. Currently, Joe and my parents are out playing pickleball. I decided again that I didn't really want to go play because it's not really it's not my thing. It's more their thing. I suppose I could just do it for the sake of it, but didn't want to. I wanted to have my final day here in peace. I say final day. Our flight this evening is at like 9:45 p.m. So we have pretty much all day here until like dinner time, and then go to the airport, get on a plane, and go back home. And we'll arrive back in the UK on Thursday morning, which will be like, we kind of don't really lose anything. We kind of just lose a night, but hopefully because the flight's so late, we'll be able to sleep on the plane as best as possible. Joe and I have just like 2 seats for this flight, which is awesome. No one like sitting between us or next to us or anything, so hopefully that means we can like be a bit more comfortable and get some sleep on the plane, because I'm sure we'll need it. But for me, it's basically straight back to life and getting into things, because I need to film and edit a video on Friday, and we're gonna plant top on Sunday. Just getting straight back into it. I'm not stressed, you're stressed. No, I'm not stressed. But yeah, that's what's going on today. I'm just gonna go down to the main house and probably just read all morning, because that's what I want to do. Just read my book. Oh my goodness, I haven't even talked to you about the books I've been reading. So I finished 6 of Crows, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I've currently rated it 4 stars. but I really, really enjoyed it, and I immediately went to go read the second book, which is Crooked Kingdom. And I kind of want to save my like final rating until I've read both of them and kind of rate them together, because it's just a duology. It is just 2 books, as far as I know. And so I feel like being able to rate them together will be really good. I was very tempted to give it 5 stars, so like maybe 4.5 for Six of Crows. But it's essentially like a heist, but fantasy heist. Heist in a fantasy land, which I love heist stuff. I love a heist film, I love a heist TV show. I've never really read a heist book. But now I have. I've read Six of Crows, and it is top notch. I think there's supposed to be a show on Netflix that's the same. That's like a show of this book duology. I'm not sure if that is the case. I just remember seeing on the like little cover had a little Netflix symbol or something. I don't know. But I would highly recommend this if you like that sort of thing, if you like heists, or just fantasy books. The characters are so like lovable, even though they're like all morally grey, kind of motley crew, unlikely groupings. They are just all so lovable, and I'm just like, I care about them so much now. This is what happens when I read books. I just start caring about the characters a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna go this morning to keep reading Crooked Kingdom, which I'm hoping I can finish in the next couple days. I mean, if I've got a flight tonight, if I don't end up sleeping, I probably will end up reading a good chunk, and read the rest of the morning, maybe this afternoon as well. I'm just gonna read for as long as I possibly can. I just want a holiday where I can just relax as much as possible, and that's what this has been, and it has been so incredibly enjoyable. So yeah, I probably won't come back on here until we're getting ready to go to the airport. We have to pack up all our stuff. I have to like fit some crazy stuff in my suitcase that I was expecting. That's why I brought an incredibly large suitcase. But I can show you that in a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go read now, and I will speak to you in a little bit. Bye. Here's a little sneak peek of our packing. The reason I needed a big suitcase was because I got some modern aqua salves. Well, they sent them to me to do a bit of a collaboration, but it cost too much to ship to the UK, so I had them sent here, and they just barely fit into my suitcase. Just barely. And I mean, hot Cheetos, because that's my favorite guilty pleasure. But yeah, just barely fit, but that's good to go. The flight is about an hour delayed at this point, and it's freaking late. It's like 10:15 p.m., which is way later than we're used to staying up. And I mean, I guess it's good because we can just fall asleep on the plane, but I just wanna get on the plane and go home at this point. I'm tired of traveling. I wanna be at home. I want to see my kitty cat. But yeah, we're just about to board the plane now. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Maybe we can make up the time in the air. I don't know if that's possible, but fingers crossed. Got my passport here. Got the Joe boy here. Reading and walking. We want to get on the plane. Get us on the plane.
Cabin crew, please place all doors to automatic.
Come here. Hello, baby girl. We missed you. Did you miss us? Yes.